Hello there, everybody. This is once again with more of I Played a Thing, Hell, a thriller of the cyberpunk extraction. Once again, I must apologize for my absence of late. I simply had a couple of rather busy weekends, and as I'm sure so many of you working stiffs can relate, a lot of the time I get home from the day job during the week and just don't feel like doing shit. So that's where we are. Alright, now, on the bright side, here I am, ready to resume. On the not-so-bright side, we are still in the gang alley stretch of the game, which I hate. I'm not sure why I hate it so much, because really it's just a bunch of talking heads, and 90% of this game is talking heads. But there are just so many characters involved, and so few of them have anything interesting to do or say. But oh well. Last time we checked out the clubhouse of the Deadly Seven and its inhabitants. So this time we're going to head over to the clubhouse of the Clean Machine, their opposite number. And the reason we're here, by the way, is to investigate the death of Brian Avery, who was one of the people who was scrubbed on the same night that the hand agents attempted to wipe us out. And also we have to try and find a way to get Chastity Bene out of the gang life, so that her mother, Sophia Bene, will continue to work with us. Alright, who have we got here? The young lady in the middle of the room there is Gracie Lovell, and over on the left we have Drip. But first, let's check out the room.
Looking like some college lounge that's gone through a half-hearted effort to be turned into a reception office, this is where the Cleans hold their organizational meetings. Meetings that invariably turn into little more than pep rallies to get out there and do good.
Alright then. Let's have a look at Drip.
Believe it or not, it's been said that people like Drip are going to inherit the Earth.
As you may recall, the members of the Deadly Seven represented the 7 deadly sins, and so their opposite numbers, the Clean Machine, do represent various virtues. Drip, being the kind of person who's going to inherit the Earth, must represent meekness. Well, let's have a chat with him.
Excuse me.
Ah!
Sorry. Didn't mean to scare you.
Oh, no, it's all right. I've been a little jumpy lately.
You know who he reminds me of? Bernard Bernoulli, from Maniac Mansion and Return of the Tentacle.
Understandable, what with the murder and all.
The murder? Oh, right. I'd forgotten that. I was thinking more about this woman with the sevens. She's kind of been after me.
So what's so bad about that?
Gideon, I think I'll do the asking here. Who is it, kid?
It's electric sex.
Oh my. So electric sex has a little bit of a classic nerd fetish. Then again, I suppose electric sex probably has a bit of an everything fetish, so fair enough.
Cripes, you kids give yourselves kind of hopeful names, don't you? Well, in any case, kid, you're on your own with that little problem. We wanted to ask you if you happen to know anything about that murder we mentioned.
The murder in question being that of Brian Avery.
No, I haven't really been around here much.
Get a grip, kid.
That's interesting. There's a bunch of stuff in the subtitles there that Gideon never actually says. A little bit chauvinistic. Oh well.
Gideon, let's go.
Coming, dear. Good luck, kid.
Anything else on your mind, Drip?
Settle down, kid. We're doing what we can. Your hormones aren't exactly at the top of our priority list.
Sure they are. We totally want to get the nerd laid. You know, I'm not using that too pejoratively. I am very much an individual of the nerdy type myself, but, well, I suppose Drip is just sort of the embodiment of the classic stereotype. Just clearing the air there. Anyway, Gracie, what's up with you?
This pleasant young woman is a welcome sight after the company you've been keeping lately.
Her name being Gracie Lovell, and she having a very positive attitude, I'm guessing she simply represents love. Where are you going, Rachel?
The hand of God and the hand of friendship are always extended here, friends. Do you need a meal, a place to wash up, a bed to rest in? You two look as though you've spent too much time on these dirty streets.
Thanks for the offer, but we're not so bad off that we need a missionary. I know I'll be sorry for asking, but what's up with her and the other cleans?
She acts like she's the leader around here, and she treats the rest of us like we were soldiers in her army. Anyone gets out of line, and wham! She's down hard on them. But take poor Drip, for instance. He's as kind and self-effacing as can be. He wouldn't hurt a living soul, and he doesn't ask anything for himself. You'd think that just this one time the Temperance would allow him a rare indulgence. But no, she has to ruin it.
So apparently some Temperance is the real enforcer around here, even though Christopher Modesta is sort of the official leader. And the game is talking about her as if it expects us to have already spoken with Temperance, which is kind of weird, given that Gracie is out here in the main room that we first walk into, and Temperance is not, but whatever.
Again, I know I'll be sorry, but what's she doing to the poor guy?
Well, Drip is so quiet and shy. He has an awful time with women. Somehow, and really, it's just the most unlikely match, but he and Electric Sex of the Deadly Seven have become something of, well, I think item is too strong a word, but, well, you know. But Temperance has threatened to reveal their affair if they try anything. Oh, you don't know Drip. He'd just shrivel up and die if anybody knew about him and Electric Sex. She's so flamboyant, so indecent, so exposed. He'd be so ashamed that he'd lock himself away. Oh no, no one must know. But at the same time, I hate to see... If only there was someplace else for them to go. A room that wasn't in the clean or deadly brownstone. If someplace else was accessible to them, then it would be easier on Drip and less likely that anyone would discover what they were doing.
Well, that was kind of weird. Gracie kind of went off on a tangent that wasn't reflected in the subtitles there, and then just suddenly snapped back to it in mid-sentence. A little editing problem. Not the first we've seen in Hell, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
That might work, but Temperance could still find them out.
I've thought about that too, and though it pains me to hurt anyone, we might be able to block Temperance from being so mean to Drip.
And I've no doubt that we fit into your plan somehow.
Well, yes you do, actually. You see, I know her one weakness. There's a line of, well, smutty comic books published by a company named Erotics. I once accidentally discovered a cache of these comics in Temperance's room. If you bring her more comics, then I'll have some leverage over her, and she'll leave Drip and Electric Sex to go about their business.
Aha! So the embodiment of Temperance has a little vice of her own, huh?
That sounds like blackmail. Not a very clean thing to do, is it?
Sometimes love demands we get a little dirty.
That is true. I'll give you credit for that one, Gracie. Alright, we have another room around here somewhere. Let's see, that goes outside, which we definitely do not want. Is it over here? Indeed it is. So we've got another side quest, it seems. Pick up some porno comics for Temperance. And we will also have to find a place for Electric Sex and Drip to get their freak on. Alright, who have we got here? Over on the left, that is Fracky. In the middle, we have Stefan Benevolus, who you may recall Barbara Backus had a few words about stealing his cigarettes. And on the right is the infamous Temperance Lecter. Oh, let's check the room first. Almost forgot.
The inner sanctum of the Cleans. This is where they spend most of their time together, listening to music and holding all-night heart-to-hearts about how to change the world and uphold the dictums of the Imperator.
I do kind of like their multicolored lighting that they've got going here. But anyway, Temperance.
A young, impeccably neat and well-mannered woman examines a group of pamphlets and flyers espousing the Hand's edicts.
Oh god, she's a chick tract distributor. Yeah, I definitely don't feel too bad about bribing her off with porn comics.
The Hand's message is one of discipline and self-correction. We must purify ourselves of weakness and sin and resist the seduction of technology, the urge to elevate the mechanical over the human. Only then can we serve the state and God.
That's a hell of a poofy collar you got there.
Ram it, sister. We played by the Hand's rules long enough. Try evangelizing us and I'll bust you one in the jaw.
Whoa there, Rachel. Call off your dogs.
I shall not be baited by an unbeliever. Solene Solex's divine power is evident in his mastery over the gates of hell. I need look no further than across the street to witness the wages of sin. The deadly seven flaunt their irrestraint and think they can sin with impunity. But they will pay for their iniquity.
All hail Grace Jones.
Listen, Lecter, not that we really give a damn whether you and the Deadlies blow each other up, but how about cutting drip and electric sex a break? What possible harm can a little affection cause?
Yeah, you'd think the Clean Machine would be all behind bridging some of those cultural gaps and doing the wild thing.
Electric sex is as sinful as her name implies. She and the Deadlies will convert to the Hand's doctrines, or face the just anger of Solene Solux's followers.
Well, Temperance here has a real hard-on for Cyber Grace Jones, I gotta say. I guess we have to have a few true believers in any dystopia.
No chance of your easing up just this once?
There is nothing on this planet that can shake my adherence to the values that are at the core of my beliefs. Nothing.
Nothing but hardcore pornography. Just take your time there, Gideon. See, Rachel's not even bothering.
Do not attempt to persuade me of the merits of electric sex and Drip's liaison. Sin and evil cannot be masked by well-phrased argument.
Well, I don't think we're getting anything useful out of Temperance besides what we already knew. So, Stefan, what have you got for us?
Looks like an off-duty priest from the barrio, but acts more like he's an on-duty minister in a suburb of well-adjusted rich folks. A beatific demeanor with a beatnik exterior.
You look a little, well, aghast at things here. I understand. The situation must seem odd to you. The way we live in such close proximity to our rivals. It's very zen, really. See, the Deadlies and the Cleans need each other. It's like yin and yang.
That's all very well and good, Stefan, but what in God's name is going on with your mouth?
Jeez, Rach, I guess that guy was what you'd call a liberal, huh? None of these people bother him.
Well, that was a short conversation. And his conversation icon has disappeared. Okay. Well, you're a bit of a non-character, Stefan. And over here on the left is Fracky.
She's that person in the office who's there when you come in, there when you go, yet always seems rested, relaxed, and on top of things. In clean clothes, too.
And if that wasn't enough of a hint for you, Fracky represents diligence. And she's also going to help us be a huge asshole for no really good reason.
Something I can help you with? I'm pretty involved in something here.
What does that graffiti say behind her? Cannot... something. I couldn't really see it in the main screen. I'll have to take a look whenever we flip back to it.
Funny you put it that way. We wanted to ask you about something else you were pretty involved in. A guy named Brian Avery.
Brian and I are a thing of the past. Our romance... well, it just wasn't an efficient use of my time.
And the idea of a romance between Fracky and Brian Avery came completely out of nowhere. I have no idea where Rachel knew to ask about it, because the game has not suggested such a thing to us anywhere.
With all the attention, maybe he killed himself.
Can it, Cinna? Not everyone is responsible for their own death.
Rachel, catty again. There's really no need for that.
You're a riot, Rachel. I hope you're taking notes. Put too much pressure on a man, and you could lose him.
Come on, you two.
I'm with Gideon.
Look, was there anything else about Brian? Did any of his gun running ever bring him into direct contact with the hand?
Honest, I really wouldn't know. Why don't you go bribe some transgression officials or something? That might be a better use of your time.
Let's see, that would take some money, I believe. And we lost our jobs recently.
Well, why didn't you say so? I could help you with that. As part of our battle against evil, I've been figuring out some ways to deplete the coffers of our enemies, the Deadlies. I think I've found a way to jack into Dick Covett's bank account. He's somebody who could really learn a lot from impoverishment. I'd just have to run a rap on his bank account.
Run a rap?
Yes. Don't you know what rap means?
Oh yeah, sure, it was some kind of poetry about 1,000 years ago or so.
Oh, the kids today, they listen to the rap music that gives them the brain damage, with the hippin' and the hoppin' and the bippin' and the boppin'.
Not exactly. In this case, it means Rapid Assessment Program.
Yeah, right, whatever.
So, you interested?
So yes, we are being given an opportunity to just straight up rip off Dick Covett. Now, he is, apparently the embodiment of a deadly sin, but I don't know, I don't think he really has that coming. I mean, when we were over at the Deadly 7 Clubhouse, all he really did was compliment our clothes. It just doesn't seem right.
Maybe some other time. We could really use the dough, but our first priority is to get info on Avery. Thanks anyway.
The problem is, we have $1,000. That's not enough to get the pick lock implant from Dr. Clean, which is needed to complete the game. And there's only one other way to get money in the game, which also requires more than $1,000. So it is actually required that we take this very unethical step. Alright, well, let's get into some grand larceny here.
Oh my, you're back. But I'm right in the middle of something. Got to type up the new hand pledge, then... Oh, what the heck. This Covett thing's got to be done. You really want me to do it?
No, but I kinda have to. Also, I don't know what the finis there is for no clear reason.
Yeah, we're having trouble getting anything done without them green to paint the way.
Which is true.
Okay then, let's give Covett's bank account a spank and see if it hollers.
Holy cow, you did it!
Well, I couldn't quite get it all, only about $100,000. Some of it seems to have been seized by the bank's computers when they realized the account was being emptied. They've got a vigilance program that's practically an AI. He must have had some loans or something they were afraid he was skipping out on. Either way, though, he's cleaned out, that's for sure.
Thanks, Fracky. And don't worry, somebody better than Brian will come along someday. Somebody who will appreciate your hard work.
I think that's about as nice as we've ever heard Rachel being. I really feel kinda dirty, though. You know, so far it actually seems like the Clean Machine is kinda more unethical than the Deadly Seven. Well, with the exception of Blood McGrath, who is genuinely fucked up. But that graffiti that we saw behind the close-up of Frankie does really not appear to be there in the wide view. That's too bad. I was curious about that. Alright, well, job number 1 is to find ourselves some pornographic, sequential graphic novel type of dealies. So let's head over back to the DC map. If you've got a good memory, you may recall Gideon talking about visiting his old friends Pap and Anna May at the comic shop. And as soon as we finished up with Mr. Beautiful, that becomes an area we can check out, but until now we had no particularly good reason to do so. I just have to figure out where that's hiding on the map. Here we are. Pap John's comic shop in the Gallery Place Chinatown area. Over on the left we have Anna May. Anna May? That's really awful. And on the right is Pap John. But as is customary, we'll first take a look around the room.
Comics may have been outlawed, but with a wink and a nod, a few places like this have been allowed to operate as long as they restrict their inventory. Things are quiet now, but normally the place is full of kids hanging out and trying to read comics for free.
And let's take a look at some of the highlights of that restricted inventory. Sex Gods 2. You know, that would be one of my favorites if not for Dogs and Spunko. True classics of the medium.
A disheveled middle-aged man in baggy Army-Navy garb, just a tad too mod for his age. His hair is standing up, and he looks like he can't remember where he left his glasses. Except he doesn't wear glasses.
I don't know, from here it doesn't look like he has much hair either.
You look like you've been reading too many scary comics lately, Pap.
I wish. Hardly have the time. We sell them as soon as they come in, which isn't too often lately. The hand has really been clamping down.
Well, not too much from the man whose name is on the building, but maybe Anna May has some more information for us.
A middle-aged woman who looks like she's at the end of her rope. She's trim and dressed in hip counterculture duds, but she looks exhausted.
Gideon, Rachel, you two look like I feel. What is it? What's happened?
Probably best if we don't give you all the details. Let's just say we're suddenly unemployed, and our former boss has a funny idea about what a severance check is.
Well, you don't really need to worry so much about a severance check, Rachel, since you just were totally an accessory to the theft of tens of thousands of dollars.
You've said enough. If you need a place to hide, you're welcome. Lord knows you've done enough for us.
That's the truth. The way the hand hates comics, you could have turned us in a long time ago and probably gotten a big commendation.
And all those kid hackers who hang out here. Some of them real cowboys already. We could have been closed down for that alone. Not that it matters. We're practically shut down now, after all.
What you two do here is harmless. Who cares if kids read comic books? I never understood why Ark went after places like this anyhow. What do you mean you're shut down now?
Haven't you heard? Locusts. It's a plague, like in the Bible.
What are you talking about?
Computer locusts. It's like a virus. It comes up fast, and it starts shredding memory the way locust shreds vegetation. And all of a sudden, you got no programming under you. Just a bottomless pit of negative info. You're in a free fall being sucked down into this black hole.
You think the locusts are something planted by the hand?
It would be just like them to try and lock up everybody's computer. And if this was their doing, it's been successful. Our computers, hell, everybody's computers, are shut down now. But I'll tell you, these locusts are something. It seems like a natural cyber phenomenon, a microburst wind shear. Locusts swirl up and surround you, eating everything you summon up to try and get them out of there. Then it creates an info vacuum below you that sucks you down into the pit. If you stay in cyberspace an instant too long, you're a flatliner for good. At any rate, we're shut down now. We've been sitting around all day with nothing to do except stare at a screen full of jumbled commands. We're afraid to jack in, surf the net, and see if we can get a look at things.
Well, damn. Black ice, to borrow an old, cyberpunk overused, terminology. Somebody in the hand really hates comics. Actually, with what we've seen of them, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if it was someone in the clean machine.
You may not have to jack in. You say you're getting a screen full of jumbled words?
That's it. Just letters. If they're words, it's in no language I've ever seen.
That may be your answer.
It's shuffling through those letters for some reason, and the way it's arranging them may be a clue. One organization may have some bearing on the next. It's obviously eating every other memory but its own. All it has to remember is its own failsafe, probably a single word. You can bet whoever implemented this must have had a way to shut it down so it wouldn't eat up their own system. If you can find that code word, you may be able to shut down the locusts.
Why didn't I think of that?
Because it's kind of a stretch?
Because you're senile, that's why. But listen, containment of artificial realities is your business. Think you can help us lick these virtual bugs?
Look, we're really pressed for time, but we'll try to help you with the locusts. But in return, there's something we need from you.
Anything. Just name it.
Well, it's not from me, see, but we need some...
We need some porno comics. We never said anything to you two about it, but we know you handle that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, they've got the Sex Gods 2 poster right on their wall.
Business is business. I'll give you the comics, no problem.
Great, and don't worry. They're going to help a good cause. First, let's go swat some locusts.
Look, I know you got other things on your mind, like staying alive. But you're safe here. Ark doesn't even know we exist, thanks to you. Can't you give us a hand? We're desperate. Without our computer, we're sunk.
Well, we said we would do it. We're gonna do it.
The comics computer is essential to the daily operations of the shop. A lot of Mom and Pap's business comes to them over the net.
And here we find ourselves with an actual puzzle. Up! Ye, Wapk, Arspo, Belpy, Fraxord, Plifmome, Hlipshatd, Shrapnatoy, Schliporg. In and of itself, it is, not very revelatory. But, there may be a hint for this somewhere else in the game, and I can't even remember how I initially figured this out. I may have looked up a spoiler somewhere. But, really, the op doesn't mean anything, but starting with the second line here, you just look at the second letter of each almost word in the list. And that way you get I-M-P-E-R-A-T-O-R. Imperator. So the answer is Grace Jones. Well, that was easy. Can't interact with the computer anymore, so,
Eureka! I knew if anyone could stop the locusts, it would be you two.
Here's a stack of those Pono comics you wanted.
That is a great line out of context.
Thanks, guys. Believe me, the person who's getting these comics really needs them.
On disc. Looks like we get some kind of tablet, actually.
Having achieved status as outlawed rebel lit, comics on discs have become more popular than ever, and the Hand considers this type, porno comics, the worst of the lot.
Well, digital distribution, how about that? Alright then. Well, unfortunately we can't pick up a copy of Dogs or Spunko, so let's just be on our way. No more commentary from the owners, fair enough. Alright, back to DC Map. And you know, we have a pile of money, so I suppose we might as well stop in and get that lockpick implant. We are going to need it.
Hey, have you given any second thought about this pick lock?
As a matter of fact, yes.
That's more like it. I can start getting myself clean again with this. Stay close now and I'll attach the graft.
What, that's all? Hey, how about that?
This lockpick device is made to be implanted in the forearm of the user.
I'm still not sure entirely why, unless it's strictly for concealment. But, you know, an actual external lockpick doesn't take up that much space. You can just stuff it down your pants or something. Alright, back to deliver our porn. Oh, we've still got a ridiculous amount of money. Gracie, how you doing?
Drip can't wait forever. You've got to come up with some comics for Temperance. How hard can it be? You two look like you must have connections. Do something. Hurry.
Well, get the bug out of your ass. Apparently you want us to deliver the comics to Temperance personally, so we're gonna go ahead over and do that.
What
is the meaning of these vile publications?
No meaning. Call it a gift. They're yours if you agree to ease up on electric sex and drip.
I see. Well, I certainly do not have any interest in these awful things, but I will keep these in my possession to prevent them from falling into less disciplined hands. Removing these from the market will be a small victory in the war against sin, but a victory nevertheless.
And you'll leave sex and drip alone?
Sex and drip. Wow, putting it like that really puts the name drip in a different context, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. Damn them both to an eternity's burning. I don't care. Leave me to dispose of these comics.
Yeah, you do that. Say hello to the bondage fairies for us. Nothing else from Stefan or Fracky. Alright, Grace, are you happy now?
We delivered the comics. You certainly had her pegged. She tried to play it cool, but her face went red and her hair practically stood on end when we handed them to her.
Excellent. Let her try something now. I know I shouldn't be happy to have something on Temperance, and I try so hard to love her as much as the next person, but she's so hard and unforgiving. And maybe this will teach her a lesson. Tough love, I think it used to be called. Now Drip and Electric Sex will be free to express their love.
Boy, I don't know if love's exactly the right thing to call it, but they're certainly free to do it.
The hand of God and the hand of friendship are always...
Oh, nothing new there.
Settle down, kid. We're doing what we can. You're a
And nothing new there. Well, I suppose that's fair enough. There's still the matter of the two of them needing a safe and quiet place to, explore their feelings. Well, we will be taking care of that by, once again, being huge assholes. And to be huge assholes, appropriately enough, we have to take another wander over to the Deadly Sevens Clubhouse. Hey, Sex, you got any insights on the whole situation? I'm sure you do.
Maybe we could talk. If you guys actually did something around here besides gawking like a couple of kids on a field trip.
Well, that's peculiar. I thought she was supposed to have something else to say about the whole situation. Maybe I fucked up a flag somewhere by doing things out of order. Well, let's talk to the others.
I see you still got those great boots. Must be nice. Me, I've got nothing now. Somebody got into my trust fund and drained it. I can't even afford dinner, let alone this Mercedes Rolex I had my eyes on.
Well, I'm sure I have no idea how that could have happened. The hell is a Mercedes Rolex, though? Like a giant drivable watch?
You know, I didn't think I could feel sorry for you, but I do.
That couldn't be guilt or anything gnawing at you there, could it, Ashanti?
Yeah, I guess I do too, but come on, we'll get over it.
Laura?
Well, hello, hello, hello. Don't you two look like a pile of money? Or rather like two people who made a pile of money in a disreputable manner? Like maybe from a little friend of mine named Dickie Covett? I can see you're feeling real bad about that, though, so I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you a way you can convert your sudden and mysterious amount of revenues into some cash resembling a major mountain of money, which would allow you to pay back Dickie Bird and revive his spirits, while also establishing yourselves as mini moguls. You hip?
Well, Ms. Laura Prophet suddenly seems a lot more eager to talk to us now that we're toting around a goodly amount of stolen currency.
What's your plan?
Brother, you want to play, you got to pay. 5,000 simoleons, sucker.
There is absolutely no point to doing this, and I will initially refuse.
I don't think so. Sounds too shaky to me.
Shaky? Shaky? How you think Earth Shakers got to be what they are? Get out of my face!
Oh, fine.
What the? You two again? You come back with the courage of the cash? Now you come to your senses. Here's what you gotta do. Go to the off-track betting parlor in Federal Square and put it all on the ponies.
That's your plan? That's your expert advice?
Yeah, $5,000 seems kind of like a stiff charge for advice that boils down to, bet on horses!
Don't you get all proper on profit, girl. Why, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even know there was such a thing as OTB. You also would know about the Solux Stakes, a big race that's coming up. Biggest race of the year, as a matter of fact. It's an unannounced surprise, only I got a tip it's coming up real soon. There's some mighty long odds in this one, only I wouldn't pay much attention to them. You hit with a pony in the Solux Stakes, any pony, you're gonna come home with a bucket of the real McCoy, none of this virtual scratch. So that's my advice to you. Go to the track, wait for the Solux Stakes, and bet it all.
All right already, we'll do it.
As I mentioned, this is completely pointless. We have already purchased the lockpick implant, which I'm pretty sure is the only thing you can actually do with money that has any necessity in the entire game. And we do now have the off-track betting location unlocked on the DC map. We can go there and bet blindly on the Solux Stakes, but it is also possible later in the game to find a way to cheat. So I'm going to hold off for now until we have our cheat sheet, and then I will go and check it out. Again, it has no particular value unless you just like seeing numbers go up, but it is something we can do, and I'm going to be fairly completionist about this thing. Let me go outside and talk to Dolph and Blood again and see if I need to activate a flag somewhere to make Electric Sex give us the dialogue we need. This doesn't seem like it's going to work out, so I'm just going to go ahead and give Electric Sex the next plot cookie, and we'll see if it triggers. If you get the dialogue from her at this point that you're supposed to, she says something about being, real hot for Drip because he's a virgin and she doesn't often get to be somebody's first time or something like that. I do have to imagine having electric sex for your first time would be a little overwhelming. But, yeah, they don't have a safe place to, explore their feelings, so what we're going to do is be horrible and give Electric Sex the key to Dante's apartment. Okay, it seems that is working.
Got something for me, I see.
You got something for me too, as usual. Put that away.
We found a place. We got a key to a friend's apartment. It's relatively safe.
Thanks, sugar. Just what the doctor ordered. Now for your present. As you may have known, Dolph and I have spent quite a bit of time together. Anyway, old Dolph not only thinks a lot of himself, he thinks a lot of it in his sleep. Out loud. And one thing that always comes up is this word. Bloodnet.
Interesting choice of word there. Because, Bloodnet is the name of another cyberpunk game that came out, I believe, about a year before Hell. Or at least in the previous year. I've often wondered if this was meant to be like a little dig at the competition or something, but, as it turns out, two of the people who worked on Bloodnet, actually I believe they were the head writers of Bloodnet, also worked on Hell, doing writing for it. So maybe it's a shout out to their old game? I really don't know. But anyway, it is no accident.
What good is that? The name of some arcade parlor game? Listen, we went to a lot of trouble getting this key. What the hell does Bloodnet mean to us?
Yeah, and the way Rachel blows it off here and calls it some sort of archaic parlor game, that definitely seems like a dig at Bloodnet. Maybe they didn't have a good experience working on it, or, Bloodnet definitely had its share of issues, so, I don't know, maybe they're just kind of blowing off their old game here.
It means plenty. I'm not risking my own skin just to do in that waste of human tissue. But you two just might be able to take care of this. Use it. Nice working.
Well, I cut her off a little there, but she seems to just be saying nice working with you. It does annoy me a bit when the subtitles and the spoken dialogue don't quite line up. Sometimes leads to me making little advancement errors like that, but oh well. The important thing is, we were looking for a password for the computer of one Dolph Vanity, and that word that he suspiciously keeps saying in his sleep might have something to do with that. This time we have a legitimate answer. Some of Dolph's personal files. We are still looking for a way to get Chastity out of the gang life. He's writing emails to someone in the hand. Yep. Looks like he is an undercover cop, and he's been expensing black market cybernetic augmentations, as he puts it. Headquarter memo. And this is an email back from the same director he was writing to before. Project codename Internal Bleeding. Well, Dolph's been doing good work, it seems, but he's not keeping his paperwork up. Yeah, it seems Dolph's taking a little time with his investigation, and they're not going to be paying for his cyber implants anymore, which is probably where he's getting his big muscles. The director's a little concerned about Delph going native. Error reserve? And just an expense report. Okay. Oh, this certainly seems sufficient to discredit Mr. Vanity, or whatever his government name might be. Don't worry, Langua, I haven't forgotten about you. Six, any final thoughts?
Sweet, sweet memories. Thanks to you two. It's a shame about that old moral righteousness of yours. Damn waste.
Well, sweet memories thanks to us two? Are you done with Drip already? Well, I suppose being his first time and all, it might be a little fast. Dolph, buddy, what have you got to say for yourself?
You're busted, I hear. Lost your people. Now, who's gonna worship the golden idol Dolph? Besides yourself, I mean.
Electric Sex is a whore. That slut sold me down the river.
Well, slut, okay. But I don't think Electric Sex is a whore. I never heard about her charging anything for it.
Sounds like you were here to do the very same thing.
Hey! I am, not here to babysit. I'm here to look out for the Dolph and no one else.
What about your people?
My people? That is such bullshit. They're all out for themselves. I have, had it with these losers. I can do a lot better.
Well, you still got your undercover gig, right? Yeah, nothing new from Blood. And what do you think about all these sordid revelations there, Chastity?
The word's spreading like wildfire about Dolph. Yeah, hard to believe he was working for the Hand.
Who cares about that? He cheated on me. I heard that Electric Sex let the password on his computer slip out. We were supposed to be dating, and he's got something going with Electric Sex. Is that all guys want? Isn't pleasant company and a trusting relationship worth anything?
Hey, babe, you're not gonna let this get in the way of loving the Dolphinator, are you?
Gang life's not all it's cracked up to be, huh?
I hope the Deadlies kick you out of the city, you conceited creep. Maybe my mother was right. Maybe I should give up gang life. I gotta leave here for a while and sort things out. It's too strange here.
And Christopher?
Looks like you got your wish, Modesta. Van Itty's down.
And out, beyond your wildest dreams. The skeleton he was hiding was so big, it needed a walk-in closet. He was a snitch for the Hand.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't think you understand. I'm saddened about it all. I mean, there was still hope for Dolph. He's young, he still could have redeemed himself. But now, well, who would have suspected? It's so sad, but none of us expected something of this seriousness, this magnitude, this kind of terrible, colossal secret that's going to ruin him forever. that's going to destroy him so thoroughly, leave him powerless and alone
And I'm starting to think there might be something to that observation I made about the clean machine being overall bigger dicks than the Deadly Seven.
Oh, can I hit him now, Rach, please?
One more minute. He's got to tell us about Brian Avery. Try and get through it without saying sorry, and I won't let him hit you. Now, start with a physical description.
Okay. He was about my height, about my weight, but a little younger.
Wait a minute. Brian Avery was younger than you?
Oh, yes. He was only 17.
Shit. I should have known. He's way too young to have been on that list with the others. He's a friggin' red herring.
Well, crap.
I'm sorry. You didn't know he was so young? I guess I should have told you. Sorry.
He said it twice, Rach.
All right, but just this once.
I promise.
You hit me.
I have to wonder if Gideon goes around committing hate crimes against Canadians. And you know, if I just stayed outside and left it at that, this would all be over with. We would have had Chastity out of the gangs, we would have gotten the news we needed about Brian Avery, we could have left well enough alone, walked away, and that would have been the end of it. But because I'm being completionist about this, we're gonna stop back in here and be assholes all over again by kicking off an unfortunate coda to this whole thing. First of all, let's see what Drip thinks.
Hey, kid. Sorry, kid. Just wanted to tell you we talked with Electric Sex.
You did?
Yeah, and we have some good news for you. We just gave her a set of keys to a certain very private apartment.
Poor Dante. And I guess Electric Sex hasn't gotten to him yet.
You did? Oh, she's so, voracious.
That's right, Drip. We're not only getting you laid, we're getting you super laid, with the embodiment of lust.
I have a feeling she'll tell you what she needs, kid. Just keep your eyes closed and think of baseball.
What? Baseball?
It always worked for me.
I don't know, Gideon. What if the kid's got like a catcher's mitt fetish?
I don't want to know. I think we better be going, Gideon.
Coming, dear. Good luck, kid.
And break a leg, Drip. And now, if I talk to Gracie, you'll see why we are being assholes to come in here.
Oh, please, forget the comics now. Forget everything. Oh, it's so terrible. Chastity is dead. Oh, it's horrible. That unlovable Blood McGrath, he did it. Oh, it's so terrible.
Well, that's an abrupt ending to the whole thread. If you were previously reading my abortive screenshot LP of this game, you may remember that I was genuinely surprised to see that. I guess before then I had never actually come back in here after talking to Chastity and ever actually seen that. But yeah, her mother Sophia never actually comments on it, but she does stay with us, so I guess that's close enough to a resolution for her money? I don't know. But yes, if you never come back into the clean headquarters and talk to Gracie again, then Chastity, I don't believe, ever actually gets killed. Well, the things I do for completionism.
What now? You wouldn't have any more of those lusty, sinful, violent comics to dispose of, would you?
And as usual, Temperance is only interested in her porn. And so now we see that Chastity is indeed gone, and Dolph has left for greener pastures. We still cannot interact any further with Blood McGrath. And Christopher, we're also done with him. So that is pretty much that. And we are done forever with Gang Alley. Hallelujah. Well, that would be the case if I hadn't promised to get Langlois still. He was going to give us information about Brian Avery for that, and apparently there's absolutely nothing about Brian Avery that can actually help us. But, you think I'm gonna let down Langlois? You got another thing coming, friend. But that's all for next time. For now, I think it's been more than enough for one day, and I'll try and be back a little sooner next time. Until then, this is saying thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you again real soon like. Take care.